The RV industry continues to consolidate. Just a fraction of the independent RV manufacturers that existed before the 2008 recession are left. And one of the big ones, a family-owned and operated customer favorite, was just bought out. Tiffin Motorhomes, along with their Vanleigh fifth wheels, are now part of Thor Industries. But what does it mean for future Tiffin owners? I'm Jason Epperson, and this is RV Miles, and here we talk about the latest in RV and camping news and how it affects you, the consumer. Well, Bob Tiffin began building motorhomes in 1972 and quickly grew the company to become one of the few highly regarded brands in the RV industry. Tiffin's Class A diesel pushers are some of the best in the business, and their customers are rabidly loyal. So it's not surprising that the news of a buyout comes as a shock and disappointment to many of them, who hold high regard for their family-minded business practices and legendary customer service. But as much as we consumers like to champion family-owned brands and we despise multi-billion-dollar conglomerates, it's very difficult for even a niche luxury manufacturer to compete with the giant companies. Tiffin turns a decent profit, don't get me wrong, but their margin was much thinner than smaller brands, and scaling has been difficult. They've only recently waded outside of the Class A motorhome waters with their Class C Wayfarer and Vanleigh fifth wheels. According to Bob Tiffin, he approached Bob Martin, CEO of Thor, in order to provide an opportunity for Tiffin to expand. Part of Tiffin's secret sauce is that they've been removed from the Elkhart, Indiana machine, operating in Mississippi and Alabama, and are a vertically integrated brand, meaning that they own many of the suppliers that make Tiffin parts like windows and furniture. But the acquisition will provide access to Thor's massive purchasing power for the parts they don't produce, and for chassis and for raw materials like steel and aluminum, along with lots of cash to move around as needed. Tiffin's eyeing luxury conventional travel trailers and Class B camper vans, and it takes money to scale into those massive and growing segments. And a larger Tiffin line is sure to please both dealers and consumers. There are legitimate reasons for consumers to be concerned when their favorite brands are bought out. But, and I say this as someone who owns an RV from a Thor subsidiary that is just chock full of problems, Thor generally leaves their brands to operate independently, even encouraging them to compete with each other. Just as Winnebago does with Grand Design and its recent acquisition of Tiffin's major competitor, Newmar. There's truth to the idea that Thor, which now owns some 18 brands, sells some poor quality units. But there's also truth to the idea that Thor sells some of the best RVs available. And with Bob Tiffin and his family and all the current management staying on at Tiffin, there's no reason to believe that there will be any big decline in quality from Tiffin anytime soon. Many believe that Thor, the largest RV manufacturer in the world, to turn a profit is to cut corners wherever possible. After all, there's no shortage of buyers out there. But the reality is that the best way for Thor to maximize revenue is to sell RVs at every quality level and price point. They've known that since the company began with its acquisition of Airstream 40 years ago, an event that many think was much, much more recent. Still, it's a disappointment to see a family-owned company as well respected as Tiffin get bought out, and concerning to see a big company like Thor grow even bigger, while we the consumers are left to wrestle with the quality issues that plague the entire RV industry. But rest assured, Thor knows why Tiffin has been so successful. Budget brands compete on price, mid-range brands compete on options and gimmicks, and luxury brands thrive because of their reputation for quality. It's hard to believe that Thor would be interested in doing anything that would damage that reputation. And I'm fairly certain I'm right about that. Let me know what you think in the comments. That's it for this video. Please like the video if you got something out of it. Subscribe if you want more like this. And please check out the RV Miles podcast if you get the chance, available on any podcast app. We'll see you on the next video.